Hello. Sweet. This is episode number 7 of the Justyn Eddy Show. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking it out with me for this long already. I realized I was having I was having an issue with the video going out of sync with the audio, going out of sync with the video, vice versa. And I realized what it was because I'm using a different, because I'm using the webcam from the computer. Whenever I go into the webcam, it seems to slow the audio down. So if I just stay in the audio software, i.e. Pro Tools, it doesn't seem to go out of sync. And I'll prove it to you right now. I'll see if it does it. So I'm talking right now, and as I'm speaking, I can see it going out of sync. Just a touch. I think. I think it is. Anyway, I'm going back into the audio software, and I just noticed it when I was watching back the video. And I realized, that was when I went back into the audio software. So the thing is, when I talk with the webcam open, I feel like I'm looking at the camera and whatever. When I'm just in the audio software, when I'm just like, I know this sounds weird. Like when I say I'm in the audio software, I'm saying that I've minimized or not closed, just like, what's that thing up in the top right? I can't want to call it again. Where you like kind of just gets rid of it. I don't know what it's called. Minimize, whatever. It's not visual while I'm talking, but it's still recording. When I noticed that when I was watching it back, that's what it was doing. So now I'm just gonna stay out of it and just let it record while I'm staring into the audio. The problem with that though, what I found is that I feel like I don't really look into the camera. I don't really address it properly, which is weird. But anyway, that's what I do. Been recording a new song lately. I don't have a name for it, but so yesterday, like I've been, with all this COVID-19 stuff going on and the restrictions, whatever, and being locked away from humanity, basically. I've had heaps of time to sort of just sit back and sort of analyze what the fuck I want to do with my music. And I realized that I always listen to really chilled out indie type music, like Grizzly Bear or like Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and there's other probably more. I know Rolling Blackouts Coastal Fever isn't really like that level, but I sort of like that kind of direction, probably mixed in with that type of like really reverberant vocal with like just like acoustic guitar and like minimalistic guitar solos, not the real like Slash type guitaring. Like I kind of like that laid back kind of feel, and I feel like I've been sort of able to touch into that a little bit. I feel like it's like really natural for me to sort of write in that way, and the direction, just feels very natural. So I've been writing some songs like that. They've been kind of coming and going for a while now anyway, and I kind of put them on the bench. Like I wrote a couple of songs that were, I thought to myself, this is quite interesting, but I thought that maybe it wasn't quite suiting the style or at least the direction that we're already sort of in. And now I've sort of just realized that I keep finding myself pulling towards that direction more and more. And so the idea, I really the the tightness and the sound of Mac DeMarco. It sounds like, especially the drums, they sound really like together. I know that sounds weird because most professional music does, I guess, but like just the sound of like the tightness of the snare and like the minimalistic drum patterns, that's sort of, he plays what's needed for the song, and it's not all like, doing real like crazy shit. I really enjoy that type of style, and so the whole idea, I was gonna record, and I still will. I still really want to keep this idea in mind and pursue it. I want to record a Mac DeMarco cover, just to give myself an idea of how to sort of make that sound and try to sound like that particular Mac DeMarco. Did I mention that? It wants to be a Mac. I want to record a Mac DeMarco cover. I think that's what I said. So record a Mac DeMarco. Fucking, I'm all over the place. Cover, and then just try to sound a lot like him, just to kind of get an idea of how I could potentially make that sound happen. And they always say that you should get the sound of the source sounding great first. You can't just rely on having great microphones and great software and great hardware, or you can't just rely on circuitry to make your music sound good, which is absolutely true. So I spent I'm not a drum tech in any sense of the word, but I just found that it was really I really wanted to try and tune my drums, and I play drums a little bit, but I've never really honed in on getting like a sound that I really like on my drum kit. And so I think it was it must have been last Saturday, I think it was. I spent 5 hours just going, just the whole tuning thing that you do. The whole tuning thing that you do around the rim. I did that. I started doing things like that. I don't know. The snare that I'm using, I bought it from a friend, and I'll need to. I've got another snare here that I haven't taken quite as much care of. That I should probably. I'll try to tune that one as well and try and get and sort of try and get the idea of how to tune every snare that I come into contact with. Because the snare that I'm using, it didn't really play to the rules as such, is by what I could gather. You're meant to hit the rim, hit where the lugs are, hit the as close as you can to the rim, right where the lugs are, and they're all supposed to sound the same, right? And I was driving myself fucking mental trying to get this to happen, because I thought, okay, this does sound like it's the same, and then I would tune something else. I would tune the other side or whatever, and you tune the other side and then it tightens it, and it just it felt like every time I tried to get that to work, something always counteracted what was going on, so I could just never get it right, and it just didn't really play by the rules. So what I did was I wanted to get that nice dead sound. I didn't want any rings in it. I didn't want it to go boom. I want it to be, or you hit it and it sort of sounds dead, but it has that sort of resonance towards the end. Like I wanted to get rid of that as much as I can without using any towels or anything like that. I just wanted to get it to sound like that, like just on its own. Because I watch YouTube videos and I see that they can fucking do it. I'm like, so I know it's possible. I know that they're not using towels, they're not using anything to deaden the actual drum itself. They're actually tuning it and making it sound fucking good without any alteration like that. So I was like, if they can do it, I'm sure, yeah, it's fucking possible, right? So I just went, fuck it. This tuning's not working. I've been doing it for fucking hours and it's not working. And when I say 5 hours, I mean like 5 hours straight. I fucking had a sip of water or some shit every now and then. I went right back to fucking work. The whole fucking 5 hours straight. It was driving me in absolutely insane. But I got there in the end. I just hit the middle and I was just tuning it little bit by little. And every time it sounded a bit weird, I would just fucking dial it back and go again on another lug. And it was like, I was just like sort of evening it out, just tightening it bit by bit. And eventually I got a sound that I was happy with, and I feel like I could do better. I feel like I could get it better, but at this stage, I'm just happy that I got that far in the first place. Like, and what I said to myself when I did it, like when I achieved at least close to what my goal was that, okay, I can do this, a little bit of fucking perseverance. And honest God, I bet my neighbors fucking hated my guts because the whole fucking 5 hours, all they would hear is duh, 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 do, just fucking banging a drum the whole fucking 5 hours. The sending my missus fucking mental. She had to put she was using these headphones that I'm wearing now with her music blasting, so she didn't have to hear the drumming anymore. I was driving everyone nuts. I think the bird was going off her tits as well. She does that anyway, so it could have just been her. Yeah, I've got a bird, by the way, if you didn't know that. And yeah, but what I said to myself is that what it said to me through that perseverance is that I can do it, I can achieve it, and I did. In the end, I got a sound that I can say that I'm particularly proud of, that I was able to manage that, you know. Obviously, there's probably people out there that could do better than I can, but you know what? I did my best, and I think it sounded fucking alright, especially for the sound that I'm going for. I watched this one YouTube video, and he was talking about, you know, that more indie type of sound. You kind of get that low end sort of duh sound anyway, on your snare. I don't know if I fucking mentioned that. This is on the snare drum. It's more of like a low-ended type of sound anyway, I guess. But the Mac DeMarco sound, I think it's just tuned a little bit higher. So if I was to record a cover like that, I'd need to persevere a little bit more, which is something that I will need to mentally prepare for probably next weekend. I can't. I'm not doing it this weekend. Fuck it. But anyway, I did record some music. I got to go home really early on Friday. Actually, it was Friday morning. I got to go home, which was fucking awesome, because it was I don't think I've ever mentioned the fact, I always talk about my work, but I don't think anyone, like, for those of you who don't know what I do, I work as a concrete batcher. So if it fucking rains, no one's pouring concrete in the fucking rain unless, they're doing shit, undercover. Anyway, we won't go into that one because I don't want to talk about work, because fuck that. Anyway, yeah, I got to go home really early. It was like fucking quite early in the morning. About 8 o'clock in the morning, I got to go home. Bit after 8 o'clock, which was fucking wicked. Came home. I sprawled out on the couch for a little while. I'm just gonna check and see if this video is still recording. It is, and I bet ya when I did that, it started fucking going out of sync. Probably. I don't know. It's probably going to make a liar of me now. Anyway, sprawled out on my couch for a little while. Fucking had to just replenished myself, and then I just got myself into a bit of a zone, and I was relaxing all day, man. I got out my microphones. I set my drum kit up. Did a little bit more tuning on the toms of the drums, which I thought I got. There's still this like little resonance towards the end that I want to get rid of. I think it's what they call the resonant head or some shit at the bottom of the bottom of the drum. I think that makes sense to me, I suppose, because it's resonating down the bottom. That's what I would call a resonant head. If not, let me know in the comments. Yeah, so it has this sound where it's like boom, and kind of like dies in the ass, but it still has this like oh, like little resonant towards the end, which I'm not a fan of. Anyway, and yeah, I just set my and I experimented too, which is something that like I regrettably haven't really been doing. Like I'll set microphones up and go, this is what I did last time. I'm just gonna set them up like this, and it sounded good like this last time. But this time I experimented, man, and I felt like that I gotta at least. For in a room that's as small as this, I felt like I got a pretty good drum sound, and it all comes back down to that thing, make sure that the source sounds good first, and it was probably one of the better drum sounds that I've gotten out of this room, and I'm pretty excited to not particularly release it, but at least have an example of which direction I'm heading down. And like, I'm not like, it's supposed to just be a demo recording at this stage, but even when I'm recording demo recordings, I try to make sure that I do the best I can and make sure that they are, recorded well, or at least to the best of my abilities. Just so that, like, if I do happen to think about releasing it, it's done then. I don't have to go back and fucking, all the hard work has already been done, and yeah, so I've got a few more songs that I feel like would really benefit with this type of new mentality. That's what I think I've really adapted through these restrictions and the lockdown. I think that's through this little fucking lockdown, is I've just gained a better mental game, or, whenever I wrote a song, I never knew which way I was gonna head down. I never really had an idea. I sort of just wrote a song and made it fit and made it work, I suppose. But I feel really I feel more centered with where I'm heading, and I feel like this lockdown and just having kind of a bit, I guess, a bit of a break, has given me time to analyze who I am as a music writer, and it's been really fun to discover that within myself. And yeah, that's basically where I'm at with music at the moment. I feel like it's very exciting for me to discover this. I feel like I'm not really going down a new direction, or a new groundbreaking direction that no one's ever heard before. But for myself, this is definitely a new direction and a new yeah, just a, some a I'm entering a place that I've never been in before, and it's new to me, and it feels great. It feels completely natural, like it just feels completely unforced, and that's probably the best part about it, is that it feels authentic. And I hope it sounds authentic too, because by what I can hear, it sounds more like me than I've ever sounded, which is really exciting. Like, I know that sounds weird, probably, to hear yourself back, like, and think this sounds more like me than I've ever sounded. But it does. It just feels good, and yeah, I'm just fucking. I'm keen to bring it to the stage as well, because it's always that excitement of, you get it into the desk, or into the software, and you can manipulate it the way that you want to on the way in, or you can just, you've got all this time to sort of just explore, and you can manipulate it in the software. We got heaps of fucking, like, room to move these days. But then to also bring that to the stage, and sort of see how that's going to fit as well. Because I feel like at least the scene that I have found myself in, more of the rock and roll type of scene, I feel like I'm probably more suited to this direction that I'm heading down, and it feels like even the gigs will be different. We'll see anyway. We'll see what happens. I feel like, yeah, the platforms will even be a new area, and yeah, less of a fucking rock and roll headbanging scene, and more of like an indie listening scene. I don't know, just listening music. I feel like I've been maybe trying, like, yeah, I don't know. Just I feel like I'm in ways I was trying to write music, and in a way, and maybe it just wasn't really being myself. This is all really high talk for something I've never shown anyone before, but I don't know, when listening back to some of the music that I've written, I mean, some of the music felt really authentic at the time as well. It didn't feel pushed, it didn't feel rushed. It felt really myself. But also felt that there was a hidden reason as to why I was doing it. And I mean, we all write music for a particular reason, but I feel like I've stepped out of whatever feeling I need to sort of, I don't feel like I need to prove anything to anyone. I just have to write music that I really love and enjoy. Just music that I enjoy listening to as well. Like, yeah, it's more in that realm where, I it's just strange that, like, I've been listening to more indie type, relaxed kind of music for such a long time, and my writing style has been completely the opposite, more hyperactive and a bit more leaning towards the rock and roll type of things. And I'm starting to research like synths and, you know, just I never would have thought that I would be interested in synth kind of music. Not not like fucking dubstep type of like with fucking drum machines and shit. Like not that sort of stuff, but just like Dope Lemon. I don't know if it's fucking. I think it's synth, but like it's got this really like drony like sounds in the background. I don't know. It might just be keys. Some of it, but I know that Mac DeMarco uses synths and stuff like that. And yeah. And no, that's not a COVID-19 cough, alright? That's just a fucking dust cough, alright? Because I don't clean my room that much. I just fucking come in here and start recording. I don't have a feather duster. I've got this fucking thing. It's a, a fucking pop filter wind fucking thing. I forget what they call them. That looks kind of like a skunk's ass, but you could put that on top of there. But it moves around and shit. But what I'm saying is, it's not a feather. It's not a feather. I could use this as a duster. Actually, it would be fucking really well. That could actually work really well, but I'm not going to do that. And it fucking, I don't know. I think it came with this microphone that I'm using. I think it did. And this is a good microphone, so you would assume that it would come with good shit. But I don't like that one. I don't like it. It moves around on the microphone, and sometimes you might bump the microphone, and you've got all this fucking no. This one's better. This is a good pulp filter. No, actually, I'm wrong. It came with the H5 fucking handy recorder, the Zoom recorder, and did it? Yeah. No, it was an add-on that you could get. I can't even remember. I think you get the normal one, and then you can get that one as well. And they talk it up too. It's like, this one's better than this one, and it's not. That one's not better than the fucking standard one that you get with it. The standard one that you get with it is fucking awesome. That I should have just got my money back. I just being honest, like it just wasn't that good. Isn't. I took it to the beach because I wanted to record some beach sounds, and maybe I'm not using it properly, but that's probably a high possibility that I'm not using it properly, because that's something that I do. I talk shit about something, then realize that I'm not doing something properly. Then someone shows me, or I figure it out, and then realize that I've just been talking shit the whole time. But I took it to the beach, and I think I remember that, obviously the beach is quite windy, and I didn't go to the beach recently. This was fucking at least 2 years ago. Recording the beach sounds, and I'm pretty sure I could still hear the wind. It was like, like all it sounded like shit. I put the standard one on, and all you heard was the fucking crashing of the waves. It was fucking beautiful. It was a great sound. So, yeah, just saying, if you're thinking about getting a Zoom recorder, and you see this add-on, apologies to anyone who has bought it, but in my personal opinion, if I had to go back and buy it, if I was sitting there again, fast forward me, rewind me back to that moment, and I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't buy this. I wouldn't do it. I don't know why I'm talking about this shit now. I'm just talking about, I'm not selling shit. I'm not trying to fucking give you fucking reviews. I'm just telling you that probably don't buy that. Yeah. I remember ages ago I talked about how I wanted to do comedy as well, and I haven't even been writing. Like when I say writing, like I would come up with like comedy ideas just in my head, and then I would write them down. It's not really writing. It's just I think of something, and then I say, I'll come to I'll come to my girlfriend. I'm like, oh, I made this joke up, and she'd either say you need to work on that, or she'd laugh. So it was one of those two things. I haven't even been doing that, man. I don't think I actually haven't even been watching any comedy fucking shows, which is which is sad to say. I still really love it. I still love watching stand up. I just haven't. I've been watching there's this new show on Stan called The Great that I've been watching like the last I don't know, couple of days. That's really funny. It's actually it's quite a good. It's actually quite good. Um, it it makes the so it has this thing in it where it's like occasionally a true story, and it has bits in it that like things will happen in amongst all the comedy, and you'll say to yourself, because of how fucked up some of the things are, you just kind of go, yeah, that was real. Like you can pick what things were real and weren't. You know what I mean? Like there's some things that they say, the way that they dance around, and the way they play their characters, might not particularly be the way that they pranced about. I just pranced about, because that's what they do. They prance. That's what they do when they act. They're prancing. That's what they do, right? I just can't imagine a Russian prancing at all, ever. You know what I mean? So it's about Russian royalty back in sword fighting days. I don't know how long ago it was, but yeah, they're prancing around, but I can't imagine a Russian prancing ever, like not even nowadays. You know what I mean? Let alone back then. They would not prance. A Russian would just fucking stand like a stiff brick house thing, and just like the Terminator, and just fucking walk, and just they just fucking just marching everywhere. That's exactly what I can imagine Russians, especially back then, like they would definitely not be prancing. But that's what they do, which doesn't seem correct. So occasionally a true story, but every now and then something will pop up, and yeah, you realize that had some funny ways back in the day, man. That brings to my mind the movie Jojo Rabbit, and they do the same thing. It's that juxtaposition, I believe, is the right word, where in amongst all the comedy, when the truth comes forward, and you see, they do the retelling of the history, and they have their funny bits and pieces, but then they also have the true bits. When those true bits, are played out, I'm trying not to give out any spoilers. That's why I'm talking really fucking like weird. I mean, a lot of people know about the Holocaust. So like, if, for example, in amongst all of the starvation and the killings and the gassings and whatever, there's all these it's like they have like points where they get to. So it's like, this point is true, and in amongst this is all going to be comedy. And they get to this point where it's like a true thing that happened. And when those things happen, it's like, holy fuck, the Holocaust was fucked up, man. Like those true, raw, unfunny parts that were completely true but so bizarre, you realize how fucked up the Holocaust really was. Like that's what makes that movie so fucking good. Is that they make it a comedy, but all of a sudden someone will get brutally, they'll die brutally, or they'll get someone to do something of a certain age, and you realize they're not just making this shit up. They fucking got kids to run out with fucking grenades and blow people up. They fucking did that shit. And no one with their head screwed on properly would ever think to do that. And so when those things happen, you're like, oh, okay, all right. So, and the craziness of the events, like that the events that are true seem like they aren't true. They seem like they're completely out of this world. And that's what makes them so fucked up, is that you just can't even fathom someone doing something so fucked up. And those events, like the event that I just described, when those things come about and they play those events out, it just seems, yeah, it's fucking. But that's the same fucking thing that they do in this new TV show that I'm watching called The Great. So they just come out. I think it came out like, I don't know, like last week or some shit. Yeah. I might call it a short one this time, just because it's fucking, I don't know, it's past my bedtime, alright? Actually, I'll talk about this a little bit before I go. So, a few weeks ago, yeah, I talked about trying to attack the day, because I listened to the audiobook by David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, and I thought that I would try to use his book and his life stories as inspiration to attack the day and try to get myself into a bit of a routine. And it has been a slight success, I would say. I'm not going to sit back and tell you that I've just seized each and every day and now I'm the greatest fucking human being that I've ever been. No, I think that it will take a long while for myself to really achieve the mental greatness that I could, to be my ultimate best. But I've been trying to stick to the fucking wake up plan, man. Bedtime 7:30, which is fucking weird, but it's fucking early. Wake up 3:30 in the morning, have my morning coffee, do some sort of exercise, whether it be just a few push-ups or breathing exercises, a few stretches in the morning. I fucking really like stretching, so I've been doing that. And every now and then, I'll start a bit later, but I'll wake up at the same time. And some of those times, I have gone for a jog and then come back, fucking have a shower and then go to work, you know, and do shit like that. And um, do I feel better than what it's only been a few weeks in. I gotta say, there is a fucking great feeling, especially towards the end of the day, where or even through the day, you get to have that feeling of like, well, whatever you did in the morning before you started your day, you don't have to do anymore. You've already checked that list off. You've already checked that job off the list. And yeah, yesterday was a particularly productive day for me. I fucking got up. Look, this is what I mean. Yesterday morning, I set my alarm for 3:30. Went to bed at 7:30. I went to bed at 7:30. My alarm went off for 3:30. I was like, sweet, no worries. Hit the alarm, fell back to sleep again. Woke up at 4:15. So I have those moments, and I think my ultimate goal, because I set my alarm for 3:30, and then it goes off, but I don't get up straight away. I think that's going to be my next goal. So my goal has been to, set my alarm for 3:30, and it does go off at 3:30. I hit my alarm, I hit snooze, whatever else. And so my next goal would be every time my alarm goes off, no hitting snooze. Hit that fucking, fuck off. All right, I hear you. It's time to get up and get the fuck up and get the day rolling. That's going to be my next challenge. And yeah, I mean, I don't feel like the ultimate warrior or anything. I just feel like, at least I've got something to be proud of myself for. It's it's harder some days and easier others. Like yesterday morning, like I was able to, it was a bit harder to get up. I don't know why. But I fell back to sleep, woke up at 4:15, had my fucking coffee, and I went for that fucking jog. I just went, I'm doing it. I just said, no, fucking, you're not getting out of this today. You're fucking going for a jog, alright? Went for a jog, came back, did some yoga for like an hour. I was like, by the time I'd finished, so like I have this DVD, so it has like the stretching. It's called Hath and Flow. So I think the Hath is like the stretching part, and the Flow is like the workouts, sort of core strength sort of stuff. And by the end of that, I was just sprawled out in, I think they call it Savasana? Yeah, anyway, where you fucking lay out with your arms out and you just relax. And by that time, I was like, fuck yeah, dude. And I felt fucking good in myself, because before it was even like 8:30 or fucking 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd gone for a jog, I'd done yoga. Then after that, I did some breathing exercises, shoulder exercises, because I've got fucked shoulders at the moment. Meditation, clean the fucking house, all before 8:30, I think it was. I was like, fuck, dude, what do I do now? And I think that's the beauty of it. I think that's what I could gather. Like, it's like that's the whole the message, attack your day before the day even starts, sort of thing, And through the week, I'm not going to be able to achieve all of that, before I start work, unless I got up earlier again, which I'm not prepared to do just yet. But yeah, dude, it's been something where at least I'm able to say to myself, okay, I can do it. And I think that's the whole idea of that book. It was meant to be that, whenever you feel like you can't do something, you 100% can do whatever the fuck you're telling yourself you can't do. Like, it might be hard to fucking get up at 3:30 in the morning, but can you do it? Yeah, well then why not fucking do it? And does it make you the fucking prime minister or whatever the fuck you want to be overnight? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make you anything overnight. But I would imagine over time, it would make you a fucking legend, I suppose. The one thing that I have obviously found that by actually doing some exercise, I have been losing some weight. I looked in the mirror yesterday and I was like, God damn, I don't have as much of a gut. I still have a gut. Fuck, I still have one, but it's not as bad. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not even doing exercise to get into shape. I'm just doing it because fucking do it, cunt. Just fucking do it. Why not? It's good for you. It's good to get your fucking body moving, and through this isolation, what better fucking time than to get yourself. See, this is the thing with this isolation thing. Like, some people, it has hit them fucking hard, and other people, like myself, I'm fortunate enough to not really be affected that much. I've been affected more so in a positive way. And I mean, like, for the people that are out there that are struggling, like, what do you say? What do you do? Like, it's probably like, getting up earlier in the morning and going for a fucking jog, or, doing some exercise, is probably not, I don't know. I don't know how that kind of advice, really applies, how, yeah, that's a tough one, because, you might be doing everything you can in your power. Maybe your business is going on, and you might be doing everything you can in your power, just to stop that from happening. But it's just inevitable at the moment, because how the fuck do you get business when you can't work? It's fucked up, man. Oh, actually, I was gonna fucking end this early, but I wanted to talk about this thing with Beyond. I think it's called Beyond Blue, and everyone's taken a shot of like an egg, sugar, a shot of like any like spirit, and then a sculling of a beer. And like, look, that's a fucking great awareness. Like, to fucking spread that out. That's a fucking good thing to do. There's some people, like, I saw that my brother, he did a skull. He sculled some water with his son. Like, he got nominated, and his son, I think one of his mates nominated him. He did the beer. He did the alcohol thing with the egg, and then my brother, he sculled some water, with his son, and went on to say that mixing alcohol with mental health is probably not a good mix, which I fucking 100% agree with. And I just think, that's fucking awesome. Like, what a great role model for his kids and stuff. I thought that was fucking awesome. And I had a bunch of stuff that I wanted to fucking talk about. Whether or not they'll come to my head, I don't fucking know. But like first of all, skull whatever the fuck you want, man. Like, if you get nominated, don't just skull a beer if you don't fucking feel like it. Take the egg, because it's good protein. But like, I watched this other video where someone was fucking around with it, and it was saying that alcohol and sugar, if you want to improve your mental health, that's two of the worst things that you can fucking put into your body to make your mind better. Have a fucking a fruit smoothie, or grind up some fucking vegetables and skull that. That's probably going to be better for your mental health than inducing just straight sugar. And like, look, like not fucking ripping on the whole idea because obviously it's gotten people talking about it, which is the whole point, right? Like the whole point is to get people talking about mental health in general, which is what it has done, which is, I guess, goal achieved. Um, but yeah, like if you get nominated and you decide not to fucking scull alcohol and you just start, drink a fucking cup of cordial or some shit, I don't know. Probably still, I don't know, I guess that's full of sugar too, so probably maybe do something else. I don't know. But yeah, I would say that don't feel obliged to just fucking scull alcohol because somebody tagged you in and said that you have to, otherwise you gotta donate fucking $200. Um, fucking skull whatever the fuck you want to skull. Eat a fucking apple in front of the camera and say, look, I'm promoting mental health as well, as well as physical health. Like, I mean, don't those two things sort of coincide together? Like, getting your body, right would then sort of in turn help get your mental game right. And, they say, the whole thing, it's even in David Goggins' book, he's saying, the reason why you don't push yourself the extra mile because it's all mental. Like if you get your mental game strong, you can push yourself harder physically. If you get your physical game strong, you can deal with shit better mentally. I found that in myself too. Like I found that my mental game has been a lot more, just a bit more sharp, and like, and it even proves it within like the first fucking half of this podcast. I talked about how my mentality towards my music's even been better. And I feel more myself than I have in years. And what a coincidence that I've just been taking that step towards disciplining my fucking body, getting up, doing some exercises, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be a fucking 5k jog or whatever. Just some stretches in the morning. Just move your body. And that for me has just been fucking, it's been good, man. And yeah, unfortunately though, like I've seen people, been around people that have depression that doesn't necessarily just go away by exercising. It's with them. There's a chemical or something that's going on in their head, in their brain, that can't let them feel happiness. And it's more than just going for a jog and not eating shit. It's more than just that. Which is like, I mean, I got no professional advice on that at all. The only thing I could say is go talk to someone about that if that's you in your case. But the number one best thing that has ever helped me is fucking words, man. And if for any reason someone was battling with their fucking mental health, I would even say that doing a podcast, like doing this, is good for myself as well. When I'm by myself and I've got no one to talk to, like I will talk to people, but sometimes just putting your ideas down onto a fucking blank canvas and just talking shit, and then having your friends watch that, they get to, I suppose, get to know you in this type of platform. Just starting a podcast and just speaking your mind, like that's just that. 100% of the time, every time I do this podcast, like sometimes I think to myself, I might be lazy, I might give this day a miss, but I'm still catching up for the last week that I missed, and I don't know why I'm procrastinating, because each and every time I sit down at the end of the week and I just talk my shit, I feel so fucking good. I just used my words and just fucking got everything. No, there's still some things that I walk away. And I think, fuck, I could have talked about that. I'll talk about it next week. But you know, if I could talk to myself and just say, fuck, dude. I could start a goal, which is what I should do. I should start a goal and be like, on this day and this day, you do your podcast, and no matter what, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what, like, whether or not I've had a long day at work, whether or not I've had a short day and I can't be fucked, and I've got a short day and I'm just gonna fucking do whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna go get on the piss or fucking I don't know, do something through this isolation where it doesn't involve fucking any mental stimulation, just me fucking zoning out on the couch watching Netflix or some shit. Sometimes, yeah, whatever it is, I've just got to set a goal and be like, okay, on this day and on this day, twice a week, you do a fucking podcast. That's probably a great idea. I probably just came up with an idea and I didn't even, I had it. Yeah, look, it's something I should do. But like, I would say that this is so good for my mental health. Like every time that I fucking I'm just talking and pretending like I'm talking to someone, and that person doesn't talk back. I just get to fucking blurt my shit out and get it all out, and whatever the fuck comes to my mind, I talk about it, and it fucking makes me feel better. I feel good, and so. Directing your fucking mentality into a craft, like, I sometimes I write music and that feels fucking awesome, but sometimes I need something else to do, like this, like I talk into a fucking microphone, but then there are times that you just need a person, but every now and then you might not have a person around, and so this is fucking great for me. I would imagine it would be good for anyone else who wants to give this a go. And if so, fucking do it, man. You don't even, you just get a fucking, I don't know, some shitty microphone and just fucking talk into it. I've got my shit that I do. I've got my shit that I bought. But fuck, dude. Yeah, have you seen... I remember watching... I didn't watch it all. It was Joe Rogan's fucking first ever podcast. I'm pretty sure he's just talking into the fucking laptop microphone on you. I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing. And I mean, now look what he's doing. He's fucking... Did you see that deal? It's a fucking sweet deal. And look, I'm not doing this for any particular reason other than it looked like fun, and it is fun. I feel good every time I finish doing it, and yeah, so yeah, Beyond Blue, the whole Beyond Blue thing. If you're feeling like you need to, express, get things off your mind, get things off your chest, just fucking talk to someone, do something, man. Like, don't usually when you realize it's too late, when you realize that there is an issue, the issue's been there a long time. It's just taken a while for it to really, weigh you down. So just be aware of that. The issue never really goes away. It's always there, but by the time you realize it's an issue, that might be your worst mental state. So just take care of your fucking self. Whoever's listening, just fucking take care of yourself, for fuck's sake, alright? Take care of yourself. I mean, just do it. Like, it's only benefiting yourself, for one, but at the same time, you taking care of yourself makes everyone else happy too, because it means that you're still fucking here, alright? So, take care of yourself. Anyway, I didn't think I was going to make it to an hour today, but we got there. Anyway, this is episode number 7 of the Justyn Eddy Russell Show. We'll see you at the next one.